Good morning, my
Wait.
name is...
You can sit here. Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, my name is Justin Ramos, a part of the Criminal Justice Group, and today I'll be speaking on stop and frisk policy. Imagine walking home from school. You see a friend, so naturally you walk up to him and share a few words. You walk away, you give him a handshake and walk away, and within 10 steps, a van sharply pulls by the side of you. A group of strangers come out and start asking you many questions and, frisking you and touching you uncomfortably. You have just been a victim of stop and frisk. The policy of stop and frisk has been used for many years now, mainly among blacks and Latinos. What is stop and frisk? According to the NYPD's stop and frisk practices, stop and frisk is the lawful practice of temporarily obtaining, questioning, and at times searching civilians on the street. They use this policy in order to prevent future crimes such as murders or drug dealing. The CCR, or the Center for Constitutional Rights, states that under the law, an officer may not stop a pedestrian unless he has reasonable suspicion that he is committing a crime or is about to commit a crime. An officer may not frisk a pedestrian unless he has reasonable suspicion that he has a weapon or is dangerous. Reasoning for stops can be anything from fitting the description to wearing clothes commonly used in connection with crime, to furtive movements, to even being in a high crime area. Due to these reasons, the policy can be easily manipulated and can make it ineffective. What makes this ineffective? According to the Center for Constitutional Rights, only 1 in 10 stops result to an arrest. 9 out of 10 stops lead to nothing and the pedestrian is let go. The people who are stopped must cope with the emotional, social, and economical impact it has on their lives. In June of last year, a Harlem teenager was stopped by a group of officers, and he happened to record the event. And in the event, the officers threatened him with violence, threatened to break his arm, and when he asked why was he being stopped, the officers replied, "Because you're a mutt." In the past decade, the number of stops have increased gradually each year, while the demographics have stayed the same. According to the New York Times, in 2002, only 100,000 people were stopped during the whole year, but within this year, as of June, over 340,000 people have been stopped. About 87% of those people are either black or Latino, blacks being approximately 55%, Latinos approximately being 30%. This graph from the New York Civil Liberties Union shows that for the amount of people stopped for blacks and Latinos, it is greater than the amount of the percent of the population that actually lives in the city. And in this graph, it shows that throughout the years, the number of people being stopped has grown, while the number of guns being found by the police has gradually stayed the same. What can be done about this policy? According to the Center for Constitutional Rights, New Yorkers are taking action against the policy through Know Your Rights practices, which are getting the community involved in knowing their amendment rights and what the police can do and what they cannot do. They also have cop watch programs which have pedestrians out in the streets and watching if cops are doing anything that they shouldn't be, such as illegal stops or taking force. More people being stopped can also report illegal stops if it is not lawful. If it is not a lawful stop. And the police can be more involved in the community in order to build more trust within the community itself. In conclusion, the NYPD stops thousands of people daily, mostly black or Latino. I myself have been a victim of the policy. The story I said to imagine was actually a personal experience I had, and that is why the stop and frisk policy is ineffective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, this is really a lot of good information here, but it was really a persuasive speech. And you're supposed to be just informative, just on what is stop and frisk and the history of it. This got into we need to stop it, and so this would be not a strictly informative speech. You really did a persuasive speech. You made an argument, which is not what you weren't supposed to. Because you said we should stop and frisk is not a good thing. It should be
I
ended.
said it was like ineffective.
It's ineffective. That's an argument.
And why it's ineffective.
And why it's ineffective, and what should be done to stop it. That's all. That's all persuasive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all persuasive. Yeah. That's the definition of persuasion. When you deal with an issue like stop and frisk, and you say it's a problem, we need to do something about it, we need to stop it, it's wrong.
It was more like informing
If you had just
why it's ineffective, not why it should be stopped. It's like why it's ineffective.
You know what? We'd have to kind of look at it. It sounded to me persuasive. It sounded to me like you were arguing that we shouldn't have it. Rather than sticking with just what it is, what its history is, you know, which would be more informative. So we need to kind of separate this idea of what am I persuading, what am I informing. To me, this came across as making an argument of why it's bad. All right? Ready?